Hello and welcome back to Clubit TV. Today's special guest, we have got Mark from Airecon joining us. We are talking about our top 10 games that we've played this year. So just this is not our top 10 games of all time. This is top 10 games new to us this year that we've played.
So we've never played these games.
We've never played these games prior to this year, and we're ranking them as our top 10. So who wants to kick us off? Mark, I think you're our special guest.
Yes, sure. He's our new Doug.
Okay, so are we starting backwards? We're going from 10 down to traditional way.
Great. So my number 10 is one that I played at Essen this year. It just came out and brought it back with me. Managed to smuggle it into my carry-on. And it's called...
That's a bit carry-on.
I'm a big guy.
So it wasn't a small game.
No, big box game. And it's called Walls of York. I think it's from Crania Creations.
Just heard of that.
Yeah, basically a pretty simple game. Everyone is playing on the same board, but their own ones of that board. Just trying to build the city of York. And Vikings come halfway through, wipe your city out, and you have to start again. Whoever has managed to get the most gold.
Destructive Vikings.
Yeah. It's pretty harsh. You've spent ages building this nice city, and they just come and wipe it all. But it's got cool little plastic pieces, and Vikings are there, and yeah, you're just trying to collect gold. And it's nice, easy 20, 25-minute game.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, I already taught it to my mum, so that's a good...
Did she like it?
She loved it, yeah. So I've got to take it at Christmas with me.
So would you consider it a gateway game?
Very much, yeah, very light. Very light gateway game. Nice and easy, only a couple of rules really to teach. So, yeah.
Nice.
Good game.
Sounds like a good top 10 one, yeah.
Okay, do you want me to go next?
Go for it.
Okay, this game was published in 2016. It is a small card game. The theme's pretty thin, and if you know me, I love games that are dripping with theme, and this one doesn't. The theme's a little bit thin, but I still love playing it. It's called Guildhall Fantasy. You heard of it?
Not heard of it.
No. Okay, it's just a deck of cards, but all the cards have special powers, and you're trying to build a set, and you put them in these chapters, and as you get more and more cards into your chapter, they become more and more powerful, and then at some point you have to close the chapter and start all over again. The game just plays very quickly between 2 and 3 players. It's just a very, very smooth mechanism game that when I play it, I'm like, ooh, why don't I play this more often? So my number 10 is Guildhall Fantasy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, what's your number 10?
My number 10 I've played this year is going to be Voyages of Marco Polo. Quite like this one. It's got a little bit of everything. It's a bit of like a worker placement one, but I also like the fact that you can actually move your characters around the board as well, strategically trying to
Didn't your wife
unlock
completely pants us at this?
We don't need to discuss that.
Yeah.
Just because she's in the room right now, we don't need to... Yeah. No, it was a very good game. I enjoyed that one. So a bit of dice rolling and trying to utilise those dice. But yeah, I don't know what else to say really about it. I quite enjoyed it. It's a nice one.
Yeah, have you played with the expansion?
No, I haven't played with the expansion. No, we played it with my friend Gary. My friend Gary introduced me to it earlier on this year, and we played it again.
An expansion.
6th time. Gary's not the expansion. Yeah, Voyages of Marco Polo is my number 10 for this year.
Okay.
Let's go back to you for number 9.
Okay, number 9.
Number 9.
Doesn't YouTube have some kind of copyright? So going completely opposite end of the scale from Walls of York, which is nice, easy gateway game, I'm going up to Anachrony, which is different in all ways. Not only a big box game, a mega big box game. It's huge, takes up pretty much one of my whole Kallax squares on my shelf. It's a massive game. It's got time travel in it.
You could have smuggled that back from me.
No, definitely couldn't fit that. That would have been my carry-on if I'd brought just that back. But no, I've had it for a little while, and it was one of the first games I played this year, actually.
Survived this long.
It has. It's a very good game. Excellent work placement, but just so many options. You have your own board, plus there's a big central board, and you're trying to basically just do the best you can until the world ends. But some time traveling going on, and all sorts of really interesting bits. You can get a little mini expansion, like miniatures expansion pack for it. that just
Is that the one you have
blings it
to
up.
give yourself resources in the future?
Yes.
Does it work well?
Yeah, it works very well. Yeah, it's kind of, but if you don't pay them back before the end of the game, you lose points, and all sorts. It's really thinky. It's one of those where your brain burns, but it's very, very good. Excellent game, but not one I'll be taking at Christmas to my mum's house.
All right, so so it's not one that you want to play sort of just before you've had a late night and you fancy checking a game.
It'd be your main game of the night. I'd probably say you're looking at 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours for a full game. But a very good, very rewarding experience. Good game and lovely artwork. Production's amazing on it. I would highly recommend it.
Anachrony. Okay, my number 9 also doesn't have a very strong theme.
What's wrong with you this year?
I don't know.
I thought you said you really like.
I do. I love themes. That's why when I put a game on my list that doesn't have a strong theme, I really must have really liked it. But this one's theme has to do with rabbits.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
It's a rabbit. It's a rabbit themed game by the guy who published and wrote Magic the Gathering, Richard Garfield, called Bunny Kingdom. And this one you draft cards and then you place your bunnies on the map, and you start off with this map that's completely devoid of anything, and by the time you get to the end it's just covered in bunnies. And it literally does spread like bunnies.
Yeah.
And it's always good fun just to take a picture of the board.
Quite a lot of theme in that, really.
Yeah,
It's not
they multiply like bunnies in this game. And you want to sort of build up certain areas and score points because of the way the area is built up. It's very fun. It is one of these games that you could probably teach to somebody who's never played board games before. It's very quick, very fun. Bunny Kingdom, my number 9.
Okay.
I played it.
I haven't played it yet, but it looks good. My number 9 is Pioneer Days. We reviewed this one earlier on in the year.
Yes. Yeah.
Pioneer Days is one of. I've got another one. I've got another Western game. So there's 2 Western themed games in my top 10 for this year, and Pioneer Days is one of them. A nice little one of you're slowly going through America, traveling through. Going from settlement to settlement, and you're trying to get equipment to equip you for the catastrophes that may come up ahead. Bit of dice rolling game and utilising those dice, but you've also got one spare dice left over between you after you've all picked the ones that you want. There's one left over that will advance the trackers on some of the different
the bad things
that are happening. I'm trying to think what they were now. It's like
bandits. Bandits.
That's it. And then something like heavy rain and stuff like that.
Your wagon falls to pieces.
Yeah. So over time you get to increase the size of your wagons if you want to. You get to go mining for gold. You get to pick up some settlers along the way, which actually give you victory points at the end of the game if they're still around, if they haven't died.
To die of various diseases.
It looks very good. The quality of the production itself is pretty good. Quite enjoyed that one.
TMG, isn't it? So
TMG. They're always pretty good with the
really good production. I mean, the reason I managed to get hold of this game was because I met Chris Marling at Airecon.
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'm writing this game called Pioneer Days." I thought, "Okay,
let's have a go.
Let's get a copy and do it."
It's good. Sitting on my shelf at the moment.
First Airecon plug.
Very good.
Number 8.
Number 8, eh?
Great. Yeah, I am flipping backwards and forwards on the heaviness, lightness scale here. I'm going right back down to a light game called Upstream. So this is one I think I picked up at Games Expo.
Just the one with the bear on the front.
It is the one with the bear. It's kind of really nice kind of polygon style art. Very cool. Production's lovely. Small box game. You have salmon that you're trying to get up the river to the breeding grounds.
Trying to get past the obstacles.
Yeah, there's various dangers on the way. Eagles and bears and something else. Yeah. And it's but also the board constantly moves because it's a river. And so if your salmon are too far back, they just die because they kind of get swept away by the current. So it's pretty harsh. But so it's kind of a racing thing. You're trying to get to the end, but you've got 4 different salmon, so you have to balance which ones you move each turn. There's restrictions on movement. Really puzzly, really nice little game. I had a lot of fun with this. Again, one you can quite easily introduce people to, because at the start of the game there's not many rules. You just kind of go, well, you reveal things as you move along the board, and so you can just introduce the rules at that point.
Yeah,
very cool.
Just look at this one.
Yeah, so
if
something's not going your way, you can just introduce a rule that benefits you, doesn't benefit your opponents.
Well, don't we all do that? As owner of the game, you got to.
By the way, there's this rule that basically says that I win the game.
Yeah.
This eagle's already eaten, so he won't eat it.
Yeah. Right. He's full.
Tallest player wins. So,
is that one with the most?
That comes up quite often, doesn't it?
Yeah. There is actually. I don't know if you've played this. Is totally off topic, but Takanoko.
Oh yeah.
And the star player condition is the tallest player. Tallest player goes first. So I quite often suggest that one.
Should be one who most looks like a panda.
Maybe. Who can eat the most bamboo in 60 seconds?
Bamboo, she's really nice. My number 8 is a game I played only last week.
Wow.
It's Everdell.
Oh, you've played it?
Yes. Oh, Everdell.
Everdell.
I keep calling it Everdell.
Yeah, I want to play that.
Everdell.
The components look amazing in it.
Yeah, it's amazing components. It's a little bit like a worker placement game with a little bit of Seven Wonders thrown in. There's no drafting, but for example, you can play one card, and if you played this card, you can then play another card for free.
Yeah.
And you're trying to build up your little...
It's not quite a set collection, but you are trying to build up your own town tableau thingy of cards.
And it gets more and more powerful. Now, when we first started playing this game, we were like, so you have no resources at the beginning of the game, so you just got 2 workers, you just place them there. It's going to take ages, and you've got like three seasons to do it in. And you're like, how's this game going to work? But by the time you get to the 3rd season, it just ramps up. Yeah. If you can get your engine working, you end up with loads of resources, and it's just like boom, 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 and the game and the turn just goes on for a good amount of time. But I just like the mechanics.
I like the fact that you've got your own hand of cards, but you've also got the common area of cards that you've all got access to if you want to. And one of the other things is it looks like you probably need to play the game a good couple of times to see the benefit of the different types of cards, how they interact with each other, because some of them are like, if you build this one, then you get to unlock this other card later on for free, and stuff like that.
So sometimes you end up getting a character, and then next turn you pull out a card that if you built this card, you could have got that character for free. Yeah. So yes, it is a game that you probably you'll probably do better the second time you play it. There's also this there's the architect. There's like, if you play the architect, it means any I think amber or resin and something else. I think
some of the resources.
Yeah, then score your victory points into the game. Yeah. And
which is a big boon.
Yeah, if you just want to just get ahead. So yes, it's one of those games. Once you become familiar with the cards, it's great. It's a good game. Loved it.
And the quality of the components looks amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Looks stunning.
You need to build that tree house.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Cool.
Your number 8? My
number 8 is going to be Quadropolis. I know this game has been out for quite some time, but we played this for
2016
for the first time this year. A lot of fun. Quite a quick game as well. Yeah. So in my collection, I've got Suburbia. I do prefer Suburbia. I do like that. But for another city building game that's a bit more light, I do quite like Quadropolis. So I was introduced to this year, and that was a lot of fun. It was very colourful. I like how it works with I can't think what the piece is called now.
The planner.
Urbanist.
The Urbanist. That's it. I like how the Urbanist works, where the piece you take, you put the Urbanist there, and then nobody can take from that row or column, etc. So I quite like some of the mechanics, the way that works.
You can actually wind some people up. I wanted that one.
I can easily get that piece, but I'm going to screw you up, and I'm going to take that piece instead, so you can't get the one you want. So I like that. It's a lot of fun.
If it's going to stay on your shelf, you're going to have to name it though. Give the Urbanist a name.
Give the Urbanist a name. Yeah, that's
Carl.
True. Yeah. Carl Urbanist. Carl Urbanist. Amazing.
Very good.
Okay.
Number 7.
Number 7.
Very good. So this is one that's been out a couple of years. Again, worker placement, but kind of probably medium light. Really interesting game in space. Yeah, it is very good. It's Chimera Station, it's called.
Oh, you were playing this one at Greenwood.
Yeah. The games day that we were both at. I played it twice in that same day. I liked it that much.
Did you win?
Yes, thankfully. I did it for my second one. I don't think I did for the first one. But I taught it to a bunch of new people. So that's kind of how easy I played it in the morning. I then played it in the game in the afternoon and taught it. So, fairly easy rules. It looks like there's a lot going on, a bit like Suburbia, where you've got just tiles everywhere.
Okay.
But you've got workers, and you can upgrade your workers. And so they're actually proper little plastic aliens that you take apart and you put extra bits on.
Oh,
you have tentacles or claws or brains or different bits too.
Right.
And then that gives you more bonuses as you do stuff with them. And as the space station keeps expanding, you get more options. And so it's kind of one of those games at the start, there's not much you can do, but it really opens up through the game. So by the end, you kind of pick a route and just go for it and just points everywhere. It's very cool and it looks amazing.
It's a big thing to say that if you play a game in the morning and then you want to play it again, if you want to play a game back to back, it generally means it's a good game.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable.
No, it's very good. And I think TMG again.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
High quality.
They're doing good.
We're not sponsored by them.
They just make good games.
They're just doing really good.
Okay, my number 7 is a game that I only got Friday.
Wow.
And I played it last night the first time, and I think this game will move up on my list quite considerably. It's Thunderstone. I can't say it.
Thunderstorm.
No, not that. No, please, no. It's called Thunderstone Quest. Thunderstone Quest is a deck building game where you have your character and you try to build up your deck so you can go inside a dungeon.
Dungeon crawling.
Yeah, dungeon crawling and defeat monsters and gain victory points and glory.
This sounds like a very new theme.
Yes, it's
Never heard of it.
Underdog.
yeah, it's like it's never been done before,
No,
has it?
never.
It's completely new.
Very alien.
But it's got some great mechanics. It feels like if you've ever played Ascension, it feels like Ascension, but on a bigger scale and grandeur. And there's various ways of playing it. The box is huge. Comes up with there's over like 700 cards in just the base box itself.
Wow.
Plus there's expansions.
That's quite nice.
So it's a game that I'm going to probably be playing quite a lot in the coming year, and you'll be playing it at some point.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You will.
You will have to.
You will play this game, and you will like it. So my number 7, Thunderstone Quest.
Brilliant. My one is Queendomino, the bigger sister to Kingdomino. And they've also got an extra expansion that's come out, I think, this year to do with Giants. Queendomino.
You bought it?
No, I haven't bought the Giants expansion. No.
This is another
I
one
want to.
we played at Airecon.
Did we?
We did.
We did.
With, what's her face?
The thingy, yeah.
The Dutch girl.
Queendomino, anyway. It's just got a few extra mechanics to it than Kingdomino has, which just makes it a bit more immersive and a bit more gritty. Quite liked it. So the thing is, though, so you've got this thing where you can actually buy buildings to go on your little red tiles. However, you've also got, you can spend a bit of gold to get the dragon to come out and destroy that track of buildings to try and thwart your opponents from taking them. I don't know why, but we've just never utilised it. I've never seen the point in actually spending money just to try and stop someone else from having a building at the moment. It's never come up. I've never been desperate enough to try and stop anybody from.
Do you prefer it over Kingdomino?
I do prefer it over Kingdomino. I mean, Kingdomino is, literally you just take a tile, you place it wherever you like. This one is, you do the same thing, but you also get to have a fight for the queen if you've got the most towers in your realm. I'm trying to think what else. You also get, it's a bit like Carcassonne where you can get knights, and then if you put them down, you actually get gold according to how big the region is that you put your knights down into, a bit like Carcassonne. So it's just got a few more extra things over Kingdomino that I like. Plus the fact that you can actually merge it with Kingdomino to make it a bigger game. You can actually make your square footage, I guess, a bit bigger. So yeah, you can actually.
It's
mix
a very good gateway game, Kingdomino.
Very, very good gateway game. So yeah, you could start with Kingdomino to teach it, just teach the basics of the game, and then introduce something later on to Queendomino. But I think if you're a hardcore gamer, I think you'll be able to pick up Queendomino straight away. So yeah.
And you can line the boxes up, can't you? And they make one big picture. If you stand the boxes next to the boxes with the expansion.
Yeah. Next time I see my family, because my family have got Kingdomino and I've got Queendomino, so we'll have to do that.
Yeah,
thanks for the top tip. I wonder if the Giants expansion does it. Does it?
Yeah.
Ah, brilliant.
So you're going to have to get it now.
I love it. Yeah.
I think another game that does that recent one is Feudum.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, yeah. The one with the strange
as well,
colours.
Because I know Jamaica, the game, with the cards on the inside.
Oh,
if you do, they actually make a bit of like a tapestry thing with
Panorama.
Yeah, panorama. Yeah. Very good.
Okay.
What am I now? 6? And we're back after that short break.
It's just tweet.
Really short in YouTuber time.
Great. Number 6.
Yes, it is number 6.
Number 6.
I'm just numbering mine because I'm getting lost on which one's which. Carry on.
Number 6. So this is an Uwe Rosenberg game, but not by Uwe Rosenberg.
I heard of this one.
Yeah, I think he was involved in some of the development and
Yes,
stuff.
he was. He was consulted.
Yes.
They said, do you like this game? And he said,
what would you do here?
But it's a great game. It's kind of got this funny little semi-co-op element. The game is Lowlands. And you're all trying to build your own little farm sheep and stuff like that. But there is the tide coming in that you're trying to stop at the same time. So you're trying to build flood defences, big flood banks, which is the kind of semi-co-op thing. Where if you don't stop the flood, everyone's going to lose some points, but in various degrees, depending on what you focused on and how much you've contributed to the flood wall and things like that. So really kind of interesting. It's you can't like purposefully tank the game, which I like. Like if you don't contribute to that flood wall, you are going to suffer, not everyone.
That's right, yeah. If you concentrate on it too much, then you get to lose out on sheep
doing
and
your
stuff
own
like
thing.
that.
You can't farm as many sheep or build as many fences and such. The personal goals that you're aiming towards as well. But just really nice, great production. I love building the wall because it's proper 3D little wooden bits. Wall that you're actually building, and then the tide stacks up behind it. So it's very cool.
It's a bit very Pink Floydy then.
But really good game. I loved it. I've played it a few times now, and one that I'll keep bringing out to people.
Okay.
Very good.
Not heard of that one. My number 6 is a game we were talking about before we started recording. It's Chronicles of Crime. Played this with our friend Gary, and I was instantly hooked. Some people don't like it because it's an app-based game, but it's basically like being in one of these crime detective novels where you're the detective and you're trying to work out what's going on, who murdered this person, and you go around to different locations, you interview people, and some of the people may lie to you, or you will come back and you think, I'll question them later, and you come back and they've been killed. So I played this and I love like murder mysteries. I love those kind of TV programs. I'm actually trying to work out who did it, and this game does that.
Great.
It's just good fun.
Thank you very much. My one, on a similar vein to the whole murder detectives kind of thing, is Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. Played this for the first time a couple of weeks ago with yourself. You introduced it to a games night. Pretty good. It's got a very similar feel to like kind of code names and stuff like that. But you're limited to. I'm trying to think now because you've got like these. If you're the person who's trying to do the deducing, you have only got a set number of tiles, isn't it? That you've got that you can actually
Give clues,
give clues to. Are you doing the deducing if you feel that? No, you're trying to make everybody else guess who the murderer is. So you're the one who knows who the murderer is, and you're trying to help everybody else get clued up. That's right. They've all got pictures
in
front of them.
Objects.
objects and stuff like that, and you're trying to sort of like say whether that was involved in the murder. In some way or other, and some of them are kind of like very, very similar to each other, so it's kind of like a bit like a word association thing, isn't it, really? But very good little deducing thing where it's frustrating, where you know the answer, you're trying to give other people clues, but it might end up pointing them in the wrong direction, or you might overlook a card that someone else has got, and they start concentrating on that one way too much than somebody else.
Mysterium.
It's very much like Mysterium.
So ghosts.
So that's good. Different every time you play it. We played one; it was super easy. Found a person like in the first.
Yeah, well, you fancied this because you managed to work out what my clues.
Yeah, really, really quick. And there's another one where I was the person trying to give out the clues, and I was extremely limited with what I could actually give.
Very low IQ.
With what kind of clues I could give away to everybody else, so nobody guessed who the murderer was at all. So they got away scot-free. My number 6, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
It's cool because it plays up to 10 people as well, right?
Yes, a lot of people.
And if you've got expansion, you can play even more.
Wow.
And there's in the expansion, there's even got one. If you're an Austin Powers fan, they've got a shark with a laser on its head.
Very cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's our number 10 to number 6. Come back later and we will do the top 5.
Stay tuned. Don't touch that dial.